Welcome back to J. Ruth Gaming. In this week's episode, we take a look at all the games for Week 6, some key matchups that we find, and we want to share with you guys. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the compound. Connor is all sports out today. What are you repping today?
Champions League soccer.
Okay.
So Manchester City.
All right.
Little Phillies baseball. Postseason baseball action.
There you go.
Got to win. Got to draw. So, you're
in sport mode
I'm
today.
in sport mode.
Sport mode today.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone. We're in Week 6 of the NFL. Week 5 was interesting. Just a quick little recap on that.
Definitely interesting. Monday night game was frustrating for the Raiders.
Just unbelievable. Hot start early.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of fell apart.
Yep.
Just fell apart.
At some point, I started to feel bad for Devontae Adams, and then I didn't.
Yeah, he got real in trouble too.
Yeah.
I don't know how many games. We're shooting this early.
Yeah.
So there's some health concerns that we're not going to have full knowledge of. The Adams situation, we're not going to have
some possible suspension news that we might not be aware of. Yep.
So some of this, it's just early in the week. Just is what it is. It's kind of what we do. So interesting for sure. Do you think Packers are or do you think he's gonna call Packers and be like, "Hey, can you take me back?"
I don't think so.
Can you take me back, guys?
I don't think his frustration is his quarterback because they're like buddies.
Yeah, no, true.
I think it might be him thinking the rest of the team is like a problem. So we'll see what happens.
I'll give you that. All right, so let's just dive into Week 6, our first week with teams on buys, by the way. So pay attention if you guys do have, if you're in ESPN leagues, Yahoo leagues, whatever, if you're doing fantasy football. Lions, Titans, Raiders, and Texans players will not be playing this week.
All teams that really needed this week.
Yes.
Really needed this week.
Yes, for sure. Lions got shut out by the Patriots. Raiders and Titans trying to figure it out still, I think, in my opinion. And Texans did well.
Texans get their wins, but Texans, I think, was off of apparently the Jaguars haven't lost to the Texans or haven't beaten the Texans in the last 10 games or something. And then the Titans could have lost, but they just didn't. So
for sure.
So they're all teams that sort of need the pause.
Yeah, no, for sure. They need a little reset for sure.
Starting to feel bad for the Lions.
It's brutal. They're one of the highest scoring teams each week, and they just can't get the dub.
They also give up the most touchdowns.
Well, yeah, but still, they're fun. They're fun to watch.
They are fun to watch.
They're fun to watch for sure. All right, there's some interesting points we have for a lot of these games for all different formats of fantasy.
It's gonna be a wild week.
I think we're gonna see some fireworks this week.
Yeah,
I really do. Except for Thursday Night Football, where our week starts. I think this might be a snooze fest.
Yeah, I think so too.
Washington at the Bears, even game right now.
Yeah.
You have anything for this?
I mean, little trouble in the Commanders' locker room, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
Carson Wentz statistically is an above-average quarterback in the NFL.
I've been saying it for a while.
Ron Rivera putting the blame on his quarterback for the team's poor performance, which is something that I didn't really understand. So I don't know. I think there's a little trouble in Washington. But I think Chicago's defense is good enough to win this game, and I think they will because I think Washington's woes are just going to continue.
I'll give you that, and I think a lot of eyes are going to be on Justin Fields also. No matter what, if you're in the fantasy football world, if you're in the sport card world like we are here, I think a lot of eyes are going to be on Justin Fields. He's doing better and better each week.
I was going to say, if you break it down to micro stats, he's getting progressively better,
which I love.
So, let's just sort of see what happens against the Washington defense, I guess, and sort of see where it's at. Something to point out in this game is that Jahan Dotson didn't play against the Titans last week for the Commanders. The obvious sort of look was that Curtis Samuel and Terry McLaurin would step up.
Yep.
They didn't. Diami Brown does. So
big time. Too.
Probably someone to keep looking at because Carson Wentz is a guy that once he has some chemistry with somebody, he likes to stick with that person.
Yes, he does.
So a name to consider if Dotson's not going to play again.
I think he's listed questionable right now, but once again, it is early in the week while we're shooting this.
Yeah.
We were talking before we shot. If you're doing DraftKings, FanDuel, whatever you're doing, I love Thursday night's games because there's so many people you could pick from. You have one lineup, so this is fun for sure. You might be able to get some cheap guys in this game.
And if Cole Kmet's going to reach the end zone, it's going to be this game.
You think?
I think so. I definitely think so. Also, David Montgomery will play.
Well,
Did you see that?
no.
Oh, the equipment manager for the Chicago Bears spelled the name on David Montgomery's jersey wrong.
Really?
So he played the whole game with a misspelled jersey. Montgomery.
Awesome. That's
Yeah.
good.
So
Montgomery
Montgomery should play, and so I'd keep him in your starting lineup. I think the bruisers for the Bears will do good. Their linebackers, their running backs, their tight ends.
I'll give you that.
I think they're going to win.
So let's go into Sunday. Sunday, we'll go over the 1 o'clock games first. The first game that's on our schedule is the 49ers at Atlanta.
Jimmy G keeps playing the way that he's been. That's a good, scary division winning team.
Yeah. It's interesting. Kittle had a couple more passes. Debo still involved heavily. It's interesting. It's an interesting team. Nothing fancy, but they're getting the job done.
Getting the job done, yeah.
You know, so
Right.
it's a team, I should say, every week that I'm like, boy, I don't know if I trust anyone. It's just one of those. I don't think they're going to be a boom or bust type of player. They're just going to get the job done.
Yeah.
Kind of your safe bet players, if you will.
I think with Jimmy G, Brandon Ayuk is like a guy that you can probably consistently take a bet on against weak secondaries. Ayuk and Jimmy G have a really good rapport with each other. So I know Ayuk sort of like goes real hot and then settles down for a while and goes real hot. But if you're playing risky DFS, probably a guy that you want to keep putting in there.
And even Kittle, Debo, even I should say, none of the guys are super expensive. Like Debo isn't a top guy, but he's going to get top volume here and there. And then the Atlanta, just to have a running back situation there. What Cordell Patterson on the IR. IR is 4 weeks at least. So
and Pitts is out too now.
Yeah, Pitts is out too. So some interesting. Maybe there's some volume there for some of the low guys. But I think 49ers are just an overall good team. So
I agree.
I'm not sure if you're looking for a low player. Atlanta's to look for. I think there's going to be a couple options later.
Drake London will probably be cheaper this week because he didn't have a great week without Pitts, so maybe that's a person who could pop off. Also, since the beginning of this fantasy season, I've been a big fan of Tyler Algier, so I'm going to keep just sort of pushing his name out. Maybe don't take the chance on him this week, but monitor him, whether it's fantasy or DFS, and just sort of see what you think about him.
Love it. So Patriots just did a shutout against the Lions. They're facing the Browns, though. So
with a Western Kentucky University legend.
It's interesting. When I first seen this game, I said, "Are the Pats' defense going to slow down the run?" And is Mac going to be benched?
So
I love Mac.
Bill Belichick won't commit to Mac being back. But the Patriots' defense is like continuously getting the job done for them.
And historically, that's what has gotten the job done. You watch any documentary of Tom Brady, he always credit the defense being the staple of the team. So listen, I did good, but my offense wasn't the greatest. It was the defense that put us in certain situations.
I mean, going all the way back, they've always had pure raw defensive talent. Belichick was a defensive guy, so all that makes sense. I don't think that they'll continue the same luck against Cleveland.
Okay.
I think the Cleveland running back game is too hard to overpower, even though they're losing games. I understand that. I just think in this particular situation at home against New England, a potential third string quarterback, I'm just going to go ahead and give it to the Browns on this one for me.
How much? By how much? What do you think the line is?
I think the line, if it's going the Browns' way, it's probably 3.5.
It's 3.
Is it 3?
As of right now. Time of you're seeing this, it might be 3.5. Time of actual Sunday, it might be 3.5. But right now, it's 3. So you're right there.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll cover.
I think you're fair there.
Yeah.
No matter who starts, I love Mac, you know that. But they got no one to throw the ball to.
Yeah,
no one to throw the ball to at all. So
and it's like a thing where like Myers pops off and they settle down for a while, and then like Parker will have a good game, then he'll settle down for a while. Ramondre Stevenson is a must start, 100%. Damian Harris is going to be hurt. Stevenson popped off last week. Boomer sooner, go Ramondre. But I think outside of that for the Pats, I don't really know. Donovan Peoples-Jones, maybe give him a start here.
Maybe if that.
Yeah, but I mean it's pretty obvious that Cooper's the guy, Hunt's the guy.
Yeah. For sure.
Chubb is the guy.
Probably a run-heavy game here.
I think
probably a low-scoring game because they're going to run the ball a lot. A lot of clock being chewed up there. So just some lines to look at. Some running totals, some under totals maybe, just for score. That's about it. That's all I see there. All right, next game. This is going to be a cool one. I like this one. Jets versus the Packers. Packers coming back from London with a loss against the Giants.
Yep.
Do they get upset again today
Absolutely.
or Sunday?
Absolutely.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I'm with you on
I
that.
think the older brother took the lunch money.
Oof.
And now the baby brother's going to come in and take the shoes.
Oof.
That's what I think.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I think.
So how are the Jets going to get it done? Defense, you think it's going to be a combination of Hall and Carter? Do you think not Russell Wilson, Zach Wilson gets just, yeah, what do you think?
I don't know. I think it's fair that the defense is playing better for the Jets. Sauce is finding his rhythm. The rest of the defense is playing better. I think that, again, it's a 2 running back monster that like each of them play their roles. Each of them pop off. They're helping out Zach a lot. And the tight ends play really well.
They do.
They play, maybe not fantasy anymore so much because now there's 2 of them, but it's a really good, it's a better team than people are giving it credit for. And I think the Packers are a worse team than people are giving them credit for.
Well, listen, I said Packers are going to be on the bottom of the division.
Yeah.
So I'm with that. I know there's a lot of Packer fans that watch it. Sorry, close your ears. I do think Jets get to win here. Now, with that being said, do you think what running back combo does better? Do you think the Packers, A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, that combo does better than Hall and Crowder?
It's hard.
Carter, excuse me.
It's hard. I mean, Carter and Hall keep
3 touchdowns last week between 2 of them.
Yeah, they keep as together from a fantasy perspective are probably getting you 40 to 55.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
So I don't know. I mean, that's a really tough call. I think they're really evenly matched, and I think probably based on front 7 alone, I would say Jones and Dillon might do a little bit better.
Good. Yeah, I'll agree with you there. I think Jones might be the biggest name there, but I think Hall's leading all the rookies right now, just overall value. So it's going to be an interesting game for sure, but I actually think the Packers are going to go down here. The Packers are favored -7.
I think the Jets win, but I don't think they
cover.
It's
going to be a close game.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a close game.
Yeah.
I think the Jets are going to surprise them quick. Packers are going to try to rely on that deep pass here and there, but
yeah,
I think they're going to go 0-2 the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have a nice gut check.
Yeah, I think
really do.
I think the Jets have this one.
Jags versus Colts. This game, you have James Robinson versus JT here. 2 running backs that should be scoring very high every week. The last couple weeks, they really weren't, underperforming.
Yeah.
Do you think they bounce back this week? Do you think it's going to be another low-scoring week for them, too?
It seems like Robinson is starting to yield carries to Travis
ETN,
now.
yes.
So that scares me a little bit as a Robinson owner. Robinson's actually immediately on my bench this week. I've just got guys that Mostert and Hall that I think are probably just going to do a little bit better than him.
So they are also.
So I think that Robinson, for whatever reason, there was a turning point, and now they're starting to yield carries over. I think Robinson's going to have to start making the most of what he's given. I don't know that he's going to do it against a very invigorated Colts defense for the past 2 weeks. I don't think this is the game that's going to happen. I don't really know what's going to happen in this game. I mean, the Jacksonville Jaguars are just coming off of a 6-3 game with the Texans.
They are, yeah.
So
there's some blood in the water there for sure. I mean, on the same note, we're talking about the running backs. Does T-Law outplay Matty Ice here?
Yeah.
It's going to be close. It's both, all fronts here.
Yeah.
I think are somewhat equally matched and equally disappointing.
Yeah.
As well, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does, for sure.
Like Matty Ice should be better, but he's not. T-Law should be better, but he's not.
Yeah.
So
they're both well-coached teams.
Kirk Pittman.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's really
brutal.
tough. It is really hard. I mean, I honestly don't, just because I have to pick someone winning this game, I'm going to say the Colts are going to win this game.
Colts are -2, by the way.
Yeah, I think they win and they cover that for sure. But
Both only have 2 wins also.
I know, and I just don't like the way that Jacksonville played against Houston, and I have to go with the Colts.
It's going to be an interesting game either way.
And the Colts defense looks better.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I think Colts do come out on top there, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jags got the job done.
Fair.
I think coaching helps that team out.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think if anything, it's going to cause of coaching.
That's fair.
All right, next game. Vikings versus the Fish Dolphins. We have a QB situation with the Fish. Vikings, I've been saying it all season long in all my card videos here on the podcast. Vikings are the best in that division. They're sitting at the top right now, I believe. 4-1.
Yep.
4-1.
Yeah, sole possession of first place. Justin Jefferson is an unreal talent.
He's free.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
He's a freak.
quarterback situation in Miami. Tua is definitely out. Teddy is still in concussion protocol. He can't practice till Thursday.
And they're taking it finally
Seriously, yeah. So Teddy's out. Teddy might have 2 injuries, which is another thing to keep an eye on. So Skylar Thompson's going to be the one to go to again for Miami.
Expect the run here.
Yeah, expect the run.
Expect
Mostert and Edmonds, and then expect probably a Minnesota by 15, 14, 17.
I would agree with that. But the line is -3 Minnesota.
Wow.
So what I'm guessing they're saying is, Miami still has a lot of speed.
They do.
What it is. If they're going to run the ball, a lot of clock being chewed up.
Yeah.
So if Minnesota can't complete drives with points on the board, it might be a long game, which might give Miami some opportunity to stay in a game that they probably shouldn't be a part of.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Their defense is just, we saw it against the Ravens. Their defense is just a little more porous than it should be on paper.
Right.
So I don't know. That's like sort of where my concern comes from with that spread. And Tyreek Hill's got some sort of foot injury.
Still projected 23 points.
Yeah, I don't know. With Skylar Thompson, I don't know if you risk hurting him long term, and if it's
That's
like,
true.
You know what I mean? If you start
taking
some packages.
It is what it is.
So
it is what it is.
I don't know. I think Miami could surprise people here. Skylar Thompson could surprise somebody here. Mostert and Edmonds are probably gonna have to carry that game for them. But
I love seeing players step into roles like Skylar is going to be for the Sunday. You have no film on the guy.
Yeah.
No film at all.
Yeah.
So I just like it because win-win situation.
Yeah.
You can't lose here.
Yeah.
You can't lose.
Right.
If he goes out and throws 8 interceptions, what do you want me to do? Third string quarterback. What do you expect?
Yeah.
If he goes out and throws 8
third
touchdowns,
string rookie too. Yeah.
you never know.
Yeah.
His value can literally skyrocket.
Yep.
So it's going to be an interesting game to definitely keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah.
But I think you can get some cheap running backs for Miami this week, especially Edmonds.
Yeah, I think so too.
Especially, Mostert might be a little on the higher end, but he's going to run the ball a lot. He's going to need a break.
Yep.
How many times we see the backup running backs getting the 2-yard touchdown?
Yeah. Plus, Edmonds is a check down guy.
For sure. For sure. So some interesting players there. By the way, Cook scored twice last week.
Yeah.
Looked good.
Yeah, he did.
Looked good.
Yep.
All right, next game. Bengals versus Saints. Man, we were talking about health issues with Miami. Boy.
Yeah.
There's some
New Orleans,
there's some like all over wide receiver court. Go ahead, you take this one.
New Orleans might be in trouble. So Chris Olave is in concussion protocol again. Can't practice till Thursday.
Yep.
I think ultimately he'll be fine, but that did look like it hurt him a little bit.
For sure.
So he might be okay. I'm going to call that 50-50. Jarvis Landry, probably not going to play. Michael Thomas, questionable still. So you're down to Marquez Callaway, Traquan Smith as your wide receivers. Then you have Jawan Johnson, Taysom Hill at your tight end position. And a rib ailing injury Alvin Kamara in your backfield.
Saints might be waking up Sunday saying, wait, who's playing?
Yeah.
Who's dressing up today?
Yeah.
We have no idea. Now, with all that being said, what do you think the line is?
Ooh, I gotta think that since he's favored, by probably 3.5. One, really?
One.
Wow.
So they are seeing something where they're not either respecting Burrow, Chase and company.
Wow.
Like, they're seeing something here. So
you know what they see? An Andy Dalton revenge game.
You think that's what it is?
That's what they see. Maybe.
I
don't know what it is. I mean, T. Higgins
definitely could be.
T. Higgins is nursing an injury still. He went out to play that game on Sunday, and then
Super Bowl last year.
I know, but like.
It's crazy. It's crazy to see.
They've had a tough season.
Look at the Rams, even. We'll get to them later, but like it's just interesting how one team could literally be on top of the world, and then a couple months later be just scraping for wins.
I guess too. If Marshawn Lattimore plays, you have like a little bit of you have another defensive hurdle. New Orleans defense, by no means was like amazing. I mean, they gave up 37 points, but they woke up as far as turnovers and tackles and stuff like that. So. Maybe I don't know. I mean, they just came off the game against the Seahawks, and Geno looked good. Now Geno's eating. Let Geno cook. You know what I'm saying? But,
let him go. Let him do his thing.
But I don't know. I don't see by one. I think Cincinnati will will win this by a touchdown or more.
It's going to be an interesting game. I am actually looking at a lot of the wide receivers for the Saints. Keep my eye open. Up till Sunday, you might get a cheap wideout that's going to be the main person here.
Yeah.
So I would maybe wait to save some teams for late just to pick up a cheap wide receiver here for the Saints. They're scoring points.
If Landry doesn't play, I mean, I personally would go Traquan Smith.
Like, just crazy.
Or Taysom Hill. But Taysom Hill's going to be expensive after what happened last week.
Yeah, he actually is, too. I actually know that.
Yeah.
He is, 3 rushing touchdowns as a tight end, and he could throw the ball, too. So, it's just... But he is expensive, so...
Put him on a team that's like a Super Bowl contender, man.
I know.
Wild. Wild.
Just crazy.
Ugh.
Just crazy. All right, next game, which is also crazy. Ravens versus the... Wait a minute, let me get this right here. The 4-1 Giants.
Yeah, the 4-1. The 4-1 Saquon Barkley's.
Or is Jones that good?
I don't think so.
No, if it's Barkley.
I think it's Barkley.
It's amazing.
And that defense is showing up.
The defense is showing up for sure. Fun team. They beat Packers over in London last week. I'm not sure what to think about this game, though. Like Duvernay is proving to be a wide receiver 1, actually, to be honest with you, just for all the targets he's getting, and he's a special teamist, so ton of points there. I don't know where to lean here. Are you leaning a certain way?
Yeah, I'm leaning heavily towards Baltimore on this one.
By how many? What's heavy to you?
Heavily leaning on Baltimore, meaning that I think that the Giants will maybe take a lead in the game and then never see it again. I think they'll play from behind most of the time.
Okay.
I don't think they'll play from behind by a lot.
Okay. Like a score here and there?
I would say it's a 1-possession game.
The line is -5.5 Ravens, so that stays pretty much at par of what you're mentioning.
I think that I'm done underestimating Lamar Jackson. I think I've officially quit underestimating Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson's an incredible athlete.
He is good.
I also think, and this is like a really weird hot take that I have, I think that Baltimore is going to come in and play the Giants, and I think that Saquon, who's a pending free agent, is really going to like what he sees.
Interesting.
I think Saquon's going to play his future team on Sunday.
You think?
I really do.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I really do.
That's interesting. Didn't think of it that way.
Yeah.
And now the Ravens have enough money to sign Saquon and Lamar?
I think so, because they don't really, outside of Duvernay and Pittman, they don't really have wide receivers.
That's interesting.
So
talk about a run-heavy team.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I look at Baltimore and
that is a hot take.
I look at J.K. Dobbins, I look at Lamar, and I'm like, it would look really good to the right of those two guys. Saquon.
No, I think Saquon really does like the Giants stuff.
I think he does too, and I think Brian Daboll is, I think he's the reason they're winning. I think they're fired up to play for him. I mean, him walking off the field in London the other day, screaming, celebrating was great. He was also not the reason behind the Bills' success, but he's a large portion of the reasons behind Josh Allen and the Bills' success.
And listen,
so
we might see an Odell sighting coming back.
I know, maybe.
He might. I mean, I do like the hot take. That's cool, but
Landon Collins came home for the defense last week. He's on the practice squad.
They're 4-1. Most people aren't looking to get out when they're 4-1.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if they hit the playoffs, I don't think Barkley goes anywhere.
True.
If they go 4-13, I think he's probably going to
lose out. Yeah, okay, I'll get you that. All right, Bucks versus your Steelers.
Real quick on the Giants game, Wan'Dale Robinson is officially seemingly look like he's going to play. He's on track to play.
Okay.
So you're going to get a wide receiver option back if you're the Giants.
Interesting.
And if you're a DFS player, you're going to get a cheap wide receiving option. Big believer in him too. I'm a big believer in rookies this year, which is sort of been my trend.
Up.
But I would look for him. If he's 100% going to play, I would DFS him.
I think you might be saving your teams till Saturday night, Sunday morning before really start plugging them, because you're going to get cheap value. You're going to get not cheap, good value late. All right, Bucks versus your Steelers. I don't have really anything positive to say here, Connor, but I think you're I love Pickett. Love how he gets fired up.
Oh, for sure.
Just love it.
Yep.
But I don't think Brady and the Bucks are. I think they're a different animal.
Yeah. Brady is 10-0 against rookie quarterbacks, so I don't expect Pickett to change that. Nothing against Pickett. Again, the play calling in Pittsburgh for the offense is terrible. It's the same play calling. It's run, pass, run, pass, run, pass, and he's expected to like get first down conversions on 3rd and 8s. Poor Najee Harris isn't being set up for success either, which I don't think is fair. And Pat Freiermuth got hurt.
It's tough to watch.
Yeah,
it's
tough
to watch.
Pat Freiermuth is on possibly his 3rd concussion in 2 years. So you're looking at Zach Gentry being rolled out as your starting tight end. That's not a guy you're going to want to DFS.
I don't think I would want any Steelers right now.
I wouldn't want
of the play calling. And Bucks are going to be a dominant. I think they're going to be actually the highest priced defense also.
And on the other side of that too, Deontay Johnson cannot catch a football.
No,
he just can't catch a football. No. So I don't know. I would avoid every Pittsburgh Steeler in this matchup. 1-4
Steelers.
They'll be 1-5.
I think so.
They'll have the second round pick in the draft. I think
Bucks are -8.
Yeah, that's fair. They'll cover.
-8.
They'll cover.
I think so too.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Unfortunately, not much more to say there. Actually, I think Julio Jones is coming back too. Julio might be coming back this week.
Yeah.
He's questionable earlier, but I know he has some projected stats, if you will. So they're saying that he might be there. But who knows if he's going to play? If the Bucs think it's going to be a dominant win, they're just going to rest their guys. They're going to rest them.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the 4:00 games. We got 3 of them. But I'm telling you, we sat down and like, man, there's so many talking points. Like, we try to keep these podcasts a little bit shorter, but like,
there's so much going on this week.
So much to talk about.
Yeah.
Panthers versus Rams. I don't trust anyone in the Rams. Baker's out. CMC trade talk. Let's talk about it.
All right. Well, the Panthers are on fire right now. Matt Rule gets fired. Matt Rule's going to make $844,000 to sit on his couch for the rest of the year before he goes ahead and takes the Wisconsin job. I know what you're doing. So he's going to take the Wisconsin job next year. And PJ Walker is going to be the guy for now. XFL legend, PJ Walker.
Yep. Oh, boy.
So he'll come in. He'll take over for now. CMC's got his name in the rumor mill with the Bills and the Eagles and I think every playoff team possible right now. So that's going to be really interesting. Hard to trust anybody but Carolina's defense. And the only reason I'm trusting Carolina's defense is because I don't trust the Rams offense. So
even Cup. I mean,
but I don't trust Stafford, which is that's the reason I don't trust Cup right now.
I guess. Once again, going back to the Bengals, 2 teams that were on the top of the world last year. So it's just interesting. It's crazy to think I'm staying far away from basically every player on this
in this
game.
Yeah, 100%.
Rams are somehow -10.5.
So I believe that's true.
Do you? Is that just because Baker's out?
I think so.
A lot of volume with CMC. Baker's out.
I think they'll cover. I think they'll win like 13-0.
Wow. Well, without their quarterback, I guess there's no one to throw the ball to.
Cam Akers probably gets one in, or Henderson or whatever gets one in. Stafford probably gets them to the red zone twice. Maybe they kick 2 field goals. I don't know that Stafford. That first play against Dallas last week, Stafford got like just put right in the turf, and he just wasn't the same the rest of the game.
Maybe it's an under game to look for. Maybe it's an under game, low stat games. You can pick, a quarterback to throw over under certain yards, receiver to catch over and under. Maybe it's an under for yardage, for score. Interesting to think of, sure.
The way that I look at this game is that it's going to go one of 2 ways. It's either going to be like 13-0 or 14-3, or it's going to be like 38-3. Like I don't think there's any in between. I don't think you're looking at a 21-14 ball game.
No,
I think you're looking at they're either going to keep it close because they're playing for
low
Steve
overall.
Wilkes,
and
low overall, or Rams are going to come out and be like, all right, guys, like
they need a dominant
win.
We
need to do this.
They do.
Yeah.
The Rams are sitting at 2-3. They need to remind the league that they're good and that they're the Rams.
Yeah.
Interesting for sure. Next game we have the Cardinals and the surprisingly maybe not to you and I. We've been saying the Seahawks are probably going to be pretty good all year.
Let Geno cook.
Let him go.
Russ doesn't cook anymore. Let Geno cook.
Now, Rashad Penny is done for the season, so expect Walker to pick up the rest of the workload there, because really it was a running back by committee. But for what it's worth, Penny is done for the season with an injury, and the Cardinals are out a lot of players too. Your Ertz probably going to eat this week again.
So, yeah.
Seahawks not really playing any defense. It's just like, we're going to outscore you. We're going to have Lockett, DK, just go. And then our running backs just going to do their best they can and let Geno sling the rock.
Yeah. So Arizona is down to Eno Benjamin and the backfield. every running back left the game on Sunday. James Conner's questionable. I can't remember the other two off the top of my head right now, but I know they're questionable. Rondale Moore is finally back. This should be the last game they play without DeAndre Hopkins. So, poor Arizona is probably going to lose here. Going into Seattle, coming off of a really, really heartbreaking loss for them against the Eagles. I think they're going to lose here again, too. I think Seattle's going to win.
Yeah, Arizona's actually -3, though. They're actually favored. I don't think I agree with that. I actually think Seahawks are going to win this game. But for going back to the CMC with volume conversation, I think that Benjamin is a guy that you might want to pick up just for the pure volume at the running back.
He found the end zone when it was up to him last week.
So he's going to be a guy that's cheap.
Yeah.
The guy that I will probably be looking at once again. I'm probably not going to make any teams if I do make teams until Sunday morning.
Yeah, that's fair.
Legit.
I mean, it's another thing too. You sort of mentioned Seattle's running back by committee. Walker looks really good, and they've had DJ Dallas on that team for 2 or 3 years at this point. So I think Seattle is in next man up mode, and I think Gino put them there, and now they're just like, cool, this is what it is. This is the hand we're dealt, and we're just gonna keep playing with it.
And they're 2-3, which is not bad. They can easily be 500.
Yeah.
After this, if they get the win out here, so this could be hey, we need to win this game.
Yeah.
This is a must win for us. So next man up, let's go. We got two Titans coming up for this last game.
Yeah, we do.
Bills versus Chiefs. I'm really excited for this game.
This should be the Monday night game.
This should be one of the primetime games, which we're going to get into the Monday night game. We have some things to say there.
Yeah, we do.
But Allen versus Mahomes, going to be crazy. I hope I can watch this Sunday night. As you know, we do the box break, so I'm typically prepping during the last couple the 4:30 games. So really want to watch this game. I really want to watch this game.
It's gonna be must-see football, especially probably must-see football out of the whole day. I would think, probably the best game of the day. I think it's gonna be super high scoring. I think Gabe Davis is gonna continue the success. Maybe not as much as he had last week, but still gonna continue the success.
What do you think the lines are for here? What do you think?
Ooh, I gotta think Buffalo's favored, and I have to think by 2.5.
Wow, that's exactly what it is, 2.5.
Really?
How about the over/under?
Over under, I'm gonna set it at, let's say 58.
54.
Wow.
Pretty close.
Wow.
Pretty close with that. So I agree with you. The only thing I could also see happening is everyone's gonna think it's a high scoring game, and next thing you know, it's
6-3.
It's just like a rough game to watch.
Pure defensive game.
Just brutal. Obviously, we're actually facing each other this week in fantasy football. So I have Allen and Diggs. So I'm hoping for the shootout. I also have Kelsey too. So let's go. Let the ball fly.
Yeah, you could beat me off of 3 players this week.
Easily can. Easily can.
Yep.
So I hope your prediction of a high scoring game is spot on, my friend.
Yep.
So not much to say there. A lot of high value players are going to be highly priced. So if you think this is also going to be a high scoring game, you want to go a high player, I would pick from this game and then circle back around to all the other games to pick up your cheap players.
Yeah. I
so
agree.
this could be something where it's like, listen, give me Allen, Diggs, and then a couple, CEH or just give me Kelsey. Give me Kelsey the tight end, Diggs as a wide receiver, Allen as the quarterback, and then circle back and get a Seahawk running back, right?
Yep.
A flyer on one of the Saints wide receivers, right? Just fine. I'm going to roll the dice a little bit on a couple cheap players so I can come back and get some of the top players. Yeah. Interesting for sure.
Yeah.
Sunday night football. I'm really nervous about this. We got my Eagles going against... They're at home.
Yep.
Going against Dallas. Before you say anything.
First challenge.
What's the line?
Ooh, what's the line?
Before you say anything.
Eagles by 5.5.
It's 5. It's 5. You either looked at every line, you studied them before, or you're just really good.
You know what? It's been a gift that I've had for a really long time.
You've always been good. What lines? You've always been good at lines.
Come naturally to me.
Yeah, speaking of, we do bold predictions at the end, so make sure you hang off for it. You were 500. I think you're 500 for the whole season. I'm playing 500 ball now for the whole season. Yep.
So
we'll get to that in, 2 more games. We're just going to get through and we'll get right to those.
Yep.
Dallas Eagles. I think this is going to be Philly's biggest challenge yet. I think they're telling Dak, you're still hurt, bud. You know what I mean? So
I think so too. They said that.
How can you bench Russ? Or how can you bench him right now?
They said that. What was the exact quote? Dak needs to spin the ball.
Interesting.
And it's like the weirdest thing keeps coming out.
Yeah.
Like he can't throw, he can't grip.
Yeah.
Now he can't spin.
Interesting.
So I don't know. It seems weird to me.
Like a Markel's Fultz thing. He forgot to shoot the ball.
Yeah. It just, it feels
that
weird.
reference. I'm a frustrated Sixer fan. How do you forget to do that? Okay.
Or a really happy Magic fan. One of the two.
Yeah, right. Or a really happy Magic fan. Yeah.
So,
basketball.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Philly had the Vikings' only losses against Philadelphia. Vikings are a really good team. Dallas is a really good team. Dallas is a really good defense.
They are.
And I mean,
they're a simple team though. They're not flashy. Our defense is going to win us games. Our offense, we're not going to make mistakes.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, when you throw the ball to CeeDee Lamb 12 times, you're likely to win games. I think.
It's just he's going to. Does the Slay shut him down, like he shut Jefferson down?
I would think so.
So do you potentially let's just paint us a picture here?
Mm-hmm.
If Slay was able to shut down Jefferson,
mm-hmm.
you put Jefferson better or worse or equal to CD?
Way better.
Way better.
Which hurts me to say because I'm an OU fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that being said,
Mm-hmm.
do you believe if Slay can shut down CD, Dallas doesn't have a chance?
I think Dallas has a chance
Because of the defense?
Yeah.
Making turnovers or slowing the Eagles down?
Both.
He's probably a lot of field goals, maybe.
Capitalizing on turnovers is going to be the key for them.
Okay.
Trayvon. Here's the thing about Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs is really good at jumping the ball, running it back for 6. He's also terrible getting burned. He gets burned because he tries to jump the ball every play.
Right.
So are there 10 other guys that are going to have to do their job?
For sure.
For sure there are.
For sure.
Is Jalen going to have a good game? Of course he is.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to run the ball.
Especially on the running ball. Yeah.
Yep. He'll have a probably a moderate game. Again, Oklahoma fan, hate saying stuff like that.
Of course.
But I think Dallas, it's a division game.
Mm-hmm. Listen, go one farther. This is right now the top of the NFC.
Yeah.
2 teams. So like this might be
NFC East is the best division of football.
I would never have thought that going into the season.
Either.
I had it Philly. I had it Giants, Dallas. So like right now they're neck and neck. So actually I'd love to see the standing. I know there's been a couple division games. So
yeah. I think Dallas comes in to Philly with a division game and just goes, cool. It's not going to, I don't think it's to be pretty if Dallas wins. I think Dallas will still win.
You think Dallas is going to win this game, though?
Yeah,
interesting. Trust me. I hope you're wrong because I'm a Philly. Got my Eagles colors on for them. But Eagles I'm just being real about it. Sorry, Eagles fans. They're notorious for losing games like this.
Yep.
Big hopes, a lot of eyes on. They're going to be Sunday Night Football.
Division game.
They're just going to drop it.
Yeah.
So I am mentally preparing myself for a bad loss. Bad loss. Just am. We'll see what happens, though. Now, we have Bills Chiefs, awesome game. Dallas Philly, awesome game. And then we got Russell Wilson, Monday Night Football, going against Herbert.
Yeah.
I am sick of seeing this dude on primetime. I'm sick of it.
So they scheduled him 6 times.
Unbelievable.
I think we're halfway through it.
Unbelievable.
So we got 3 more times to see him.
So the NFL schedulers, if you will, they sit down at the beginning of the season and they map out the schedule. Like what's going to be how many eyes can we get on TV for whatever.
Yep.
Wilson was hot. A lot of people had Denver winning the whole. Listen, I did. I had them coming out of the AFC at least, winning the Super Bowl even. So I get it, but boy, how do you prepare one team to be on TV that much? It just unless the guy's name's Tom Brady.
Yeah, so I think they
talk about putting your eggs in one basket.
I know. I think that when the trade happened, I think everyone thought Denver was better than they were. I also, and this is like, I think Denver is the worst coach team in the NFL.
They're just rough to watch. Going back, we were talking about that earlier with the Steelers, with a couple other teams. They're just rough to watch.
Yeah, there's just like there's something about Nathaniel Hackett that like again like some guys make incredible. And I'm Packers fans. I'm not even gonna really say that Nathaniel Hackett was an incredible offensive coordinator. Some guys make really good offensive coordinators, but in football in general, some guys make incredible coordinators and they don't make good head coaches. Right. Rex Ryan, Vic Fangio, Dick LeBeau, guys like that. I think Nathaniel Hackett is probably another example of that. I think from an offensive perspective, or maybe even as a college head coach, he would do well. I think that this is the worst. They had to hire, I can't remember what his name is. It just escaped me real quick, but they had to hire a veteran head coach to be a special assistant to the head coach to help him in clutch
assistant
game
to
time.
The regional manager?
Assistant to the regional manager. When you have to hire a coach for your head coach,
horrible.
You probably are not a team that should be playing 6 primetime games.
Now,
I feel bad for Jerry Jeudy. I feel bad for KJ Hamler. I feel bad for Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon and Russ went to college together.
Gordon did have a good game last week.
So Gordon is probably fine, I'm sure, because he plays playing with a buddy. But
everyone else has to be frustrated.
And I feel bad for that defense.
Everyone has to be frustrated.
And that's just how I feel about it.
Now on the other side of the ball, we have Herbert. Keenan Allen is as of right now going to be back. So we'll see if that stays true for practice this week. They seem like everything's starting to click.
For sure.
Seems like they're getting hot. Eckler's doing great. So I actually, Chargers are -5 here. I have them by more than that. I think the Chargers it's going to be one of those Monday night games that it's like, this is boring because it wasn't even a game.
Yeah, I think Chargers by 1,000 for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I just don't see Russell, the whole coach, it's the whole team. I don't think they're going to figure it out against the Chargers.
From top to bottom, I think Denver is a very poorly managed squad. I don't know if Wilson's woes are to credit to a terrible head coach. But Nathaniel Hackett's not a good head coach, and he shouldn't be there. And so, it's stunting them.
I would look at actually the Chargers defense here, because I think Chargers are going to be up early, and I think Russ is going to have to throw the ball a lot, which means he's going to get sacked a lot of interceptions. Just how I feel about it, I would stay away from Gordon, because I think they're just going to be behind so much. They're going to be trying to throw the ball a lot. We'll see if it goes. That being said, do you go after wide receivers for Denver? They're going to be cheaper.
I mean, you could probably look at guys. I mean, it's hard to look at guys like Jerry Jeudy and be like, I'm not going to pick you. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure,
because they're just good talents. Even KJ Hamler, and so I don't know. I mean, it's tough. It's a really tough call to make with anybody on Denver, because like Denver could pop off. I'm just going to think that they're not going to.
Fair.
And if I'm gonna look for anyone here, like if Allen's back, I think Williams will still be a productive guy. He got 30 fantasy points last week, maybe not that sort of productive, but probably still 20-ish.
In the 15 to 16 range,
which I could definitely see that, because he'll start to become touchdown dependent, but still like his booms will be touchdown dependent. Also, Joshua Kelly keeps finding the end zone, so that's like another deep player. And if you're looking, if you're in a spot right now where you're 2-3 in fantasy and you're looking at some guys on the waiver wire that you want to have as backups in case the guy who's 4-0, 5-0 gets hurt, I would look at Joshua Kelly. It
wouldn't be bad. Yeah. Wouldn't be bad to have either. So the primetime game's going to be interesting for sure. All right, so that is the slate of the game. So let's go over your bold prediction before we wrap up here.
So last week I went 1 for 2. We're calling one a wash because I picked on Pitts and he didn't play.
Can't do anything about that.
So I can't count that as a win
because
he didn't play.
Or a loss.
So we're calling it 1 and 2. So I'm officially at 500 for the season.
Okay.
We've broken even. New slate starting week 7 is how we're looking at it.
Here we go.
So last week I had Goff over Herbert. That did not hit.
No.
Did not.
No.
I had Mostert over Najee Harris. That did hit. So we're going to call that a win. I'm a big Mostert fan.
Yes,
big believer.
Yes, you are.
And then we actually sort of jointly came up with the Jaguars wide receivers over CeeDee Lamb, which
that
actually almost hit.
That was close. I remember looking at that. I'm like, wow, we actually might win.
We got close. But it no cigar. I think if that was a little bit of a higher scoring game, we absolutely would have won that game.
T-Law had the yards. Even the catches were there. It's not a lot of
points.
Just no.
You put 2 of them in the end zone.
We were close.
We did.
We were close. We were close for sure.
So 1 and 2. So that's my last week. So this week.
Yep. Start with quarterbacks.
Quarterback. I'm letting Geno cook.
Yep.
Letting Geno cook.
Over who?
Over Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I know. We were talking about it before. It hurts us, but Dallas's defense is good.
And I think Seattle just needs to score 38 points a game.
Yeah. And they can. I think they're saying, no, we can and we will. We don't care how much deep points scored on us. We're just going to outscore you.
I think Arizona is a really good team to do that against. They also just had another season-ending defensive injury on top of everything that's going on with that team.
I look pretty over here.
I would definitely look for the over here, and I think Geno is going to put up a better stat line against Arizona's defense than Jalen will against Dallas's
I'll give
defense.
You that. All right, so the running backs.
Running backs. I'm going Mostert again.
Mm-hmm.
Big Mostert believer.
Mm-hmm.
Mostert over Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yep.
Bills defense, real tough matchup for CEH. Again, even though it could be a high-scoring game, I think Mostert's going to be leaned on against Minnesota. Not to say that Minnesota's defense is porous by any means.
Just the quarterback situation is going to let them run the ball
I think
more.
I think it has to. So I think sort of off of speed and volume, I believe in Mostert more than I do CEH.
I like it. I'm going to challenge you not to pick Mostert next week.
Not to pick Mostert.
Or Pitts.
So I can't pick on Pitts anymore?
No, can't pick on Pitts.
Right, what if I pick Pitts to do better than Ertz?
Okay.
What if I swap it?
Fine. You can swap it.
Okay.
You can swap it. All right.
Fair enough.
Wide receivers, go for it.
Wide receiver here, I am going Tyler Lockett.
Okay.
Pairing him up with Geno.
Love it.
Over every Dolphins wide receiver.
See, when you told me that before, I was like, that's crazy. But is it? I like it.
Patrick Peterson is in the Miami or Minnesota secondary.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to pull out one of them.
Probably.
And Hill's dealing with some sort of foot ailment.
Yes, he's banged up.
And Skylar Thompson's your starting quarterback. No disrespect.
The quarterback is really what I would be focusing on there. So I love that one. I think that's a cool one to do. I believe actually DK and Locke, they're literally right next to each other.
9 and 10.
They're right next to each other. So you can even want to play a stretch. Want to say both of them. Let's say
core over core.
Core over core. Let's say Seahawks core 2 wide receivers will do better than Miami's.
Yeah.
And I know Hill's going to be. I don't know where Waddle fell, but I know Hill's going to be the best out of everyone. So even if it was out of the 4, Hill was 1 and Waddle was 4. 2 and 3 are going to outtrend.
Yeah,
all right, we'll double down there.
Let's double down on that.
Last one, and then we're going to sign off here. What's the tight end?
So I'm not going Kyle Pitts or Zach Ertz on this.
Or Zach Ertz.
Zach Ertz finally got the respect. He's ranked number 3.
I'm confused now.
He's ranked number 3 now, so I can't keep picking him.
All right.
So, and I think he's going to eat. If Arizona's going to get on the board, it has to be Ertz. Probably. So I'm going Hayden Hurst.
Ooh, okay.
And I'm going to go Hayden Hurst over Dallas Goedert.
That's interesting. Well, once again, you're hating on the Eagles.
I am.
Not hating. You're giving the Dallas defense the credit they deserve.
Yeah.
So, okay. I'll give you that. So, do you think this is going to be a low-scoring game then with Dallas and the Eagles?
Probably.
Yeah, you think?
10-7.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's I'm gonna be up the whole night.
Yeah. I think that Hurts will have a mediocre game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Slay will probably shut down CD, so I think it's going to be harder
for
the Cowboys to score, but I think they will. I think they'll, maybe pick 6. I think the defense might.
I think the Eagles make enough mistakes that Dallas can slowly start. Luckily, though, we'll be doing a box break, so I won't be watching the game.
There you go.
I'll be doing the box break for everyone, so I won't be frustrated. It's gonna be a great.
There you go. That's the way to do it.
Great night. All right. Any last remarks before we sign off for this evening?
Matt Canada shouldn't have a job in the NFL. I am more of an offensive coordinator than Matt Canada is. Maybe if Matt Canada is lucky, Matt Rule in Wisconsin next year, Matt Rule will need an offensive coordinator at the college level. Yeah. I'm gonna just clip out this part. I'm gonna clip this out real quick. Matt Rule, I know you're going to Wisconsin. Hire Matt Canada. There you are. Hire Matt Canada.
There it is.
As your offensive coordinator. And that's it. That's all I got.
Hey, listen. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide all the way. Baby. Roll Tide all the way. You guys have a great night. We'll see you next week, and we'll see you we're on a marathon right now. We're opening up cards literally every single day. A lot of fun.
Good night to everybody.
Good night.
Except for Matt Canada.
Take care, everyone.